Cutiespectives is now available on these podcast platforms.
After all of like the morning cartoons were on, and then they would switch to like fashion TV and like looking 10 years younger, and I would watch those, and I would actually enjoy watching them.
It was a gateway drug for you.
It probably was.
Cutiespectives is presented free of mid-roll ads thanks to the support of viewers like you. Hello everyone, welcome back to Cutiespectives, sharing the perspectives of people all throughout the LGBT spectrum. I'm Jasmine Page, and today I'm welcoming another very special guest to the show, content creator JaeSometimes. Thank you so much for joining me on this show, Jay.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I feel like we've been needing to have some kind of collaborative thing for a while now, right?
I know, we're always like two ships passing in the night. We always just kind of miss each other by a little bit. We've got a lot of mutuals that we have in common. It's nice to finally sit down with you.
Exactly, yeah, my thoughts exactly. So why don't we just start with some icebreakers? Why don't you just introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do.
So I'm Jay. I go by JaeSometimes on most social media platforms. I guess the best way to describe what I do is just a content creator. I do a bit of streaming on Twitch. I do a bit of cosplay. Most of what people see on Instagram is just kind of like snippets of my life and my journey as a gender fluid person.
Right. What was your journey into coming out as a gender fluid individual?
I mean, there were always, I guess there were clues as a kid, like things that I was into that maybe weren't typical of like a typical boy. I would stay up after all of like the morning cartoons were on, and then they would switch to like fashion TV and like things like what not to wear and like looking 10 years younger, and I would watch those, and I would actually enjoy watching them.
It was a gateway drug for you.
It probably was. And like there were other things that like caught my attention in terms of like not conforming to like my assigned gender at birth. I think the one spark was being back home in the Philippines with some family on a family trip, and there happened to be this beauty pageant that was playing on TV. So I was watching it because like it's not my home, it's not my TV, I'm just watching whatever happens to be on. And then a family member came up to me, and they were like, "Oh, just so you know, every person that is on stage right now, they were all born male." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And it was something that stuck with me growing up, and like being in sort of like a conservative family, it was like a feeling I could never stop to explore. So I kind of just kept squishing down those feelings. Every once in a while they would resurface, and I would try to explore them to the best of like my abilities at the time. But it wasn't until the pandemic where everyone was wearing, like a face mask and everything was very like secret and also like distanced, like don't go up to people, don't talk to people, wear your mask, stay covered up. And I realized like I might be able to actually explore this now. And so I kind of did. I went to a thrift store, I bought clothes that fit. I had like dollar store makeup. It was dirt cheap, and like I've spent maybe like $15 altogether, Canadian, mind you.
Yes.
And then I put it all together. I got a wig from Amazon, like the cheapest one I could find.
Yeah.
And like my first day as my like feminine self was literally like I put it all on, I walked into my car, I drove, I did errands. And I don't recommend anyone ever doing that. It was like the adrenaline rush was insane. But I'm glad I did it.
Right, exactly. I feel like a lot of people who like start to come out in this fashion have like a very similar story, because like I also like just walked down to like Walgreens and picked up like some cheap crap that I thought I needed, and like I think my first wig was like a cheap Amazon wig and everything. But like when you're going when you're coming out, it's good to like take baby steps. It's great that you like went out and did it like first time, and like you came out good on the other side, right?
Yeah, I totally jumped, just like you know what, like swimming, you start on the shallow end and you like learn how to swim,
You
then
went
you
on
learn how
the
to
on the
like
deep
tread.
end.
Oh, I went straight to the diving board.
Yes. Oh, that's fantastic. So like regarding your content creator content creation, in your particular field, in this particular field, what is your experience with the LGBT community?
It's also kind of been like my experience just coming out to the world. Like I went from absolutely nothing to absolutely everything. And so it took a bit of time to like find what works for me in terms of content creation. And I've kind of just settled on like, this is me, this is who I am, and I'm going to take you along for the ride. Things that I find interesting, I will give them a try. And that's always kind of been my philosophy with everything, is like, let me try it once. If I like it, I'll keep doing it. If I don't like it, at least I can say I tried. So like if I'll see like a reel on Instagram or something, I'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Let me see if I can replicate that. Let me see if I can like make it my own. And there have been some hits, there have been some misses. There have been some laughs, been some tears, but it's been a good ride so far.
That's fantastic to hear. So within this field, how do you feel that the LGBT community is represented?
From what I've seen, like looking at what comes across my phone, a lot of it has been positive. I know there's a lot of haters out there who will make negative comments and say some like really, really horrible, depressing things. I think I've been fortunate to have escaped most of that. I do kind of pick and choose where I put my content. Like the one place where I have struggled is on YouTube. Like I did post a few clips from my Twitch show on YouTube, and there were some interesting comments, like one or two. It was enough to turn me off from being on there. It was things like I had like a whole Nikopara like cat made outfit for one of my streams. And then one of the comments was like, "Oh my god, what are you?" And I was just like, "Well, I'm me. Like this is who I am. You know, I'm trying this out and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing, and well, you know, whatever to you." So I kind of paused YouTube for a bit because those comments did kind of get to me. Most of what I do is on Instagram, and so far, like most of the feedback has been really positive, and I've met some pretty amazing people on there who are like they're not just like followers, they're not just like people on a screen, like we become friends. So like the journey so far there has been quite positive. And just like getting to know other people who are in a similar place to where I am, like they also identify as gender fluid or they identify as trans, and it's been great getting to know some of them.
Yeah, I feel like with the influx of the internet that it is leading people to be more bigoted or posting like absurd viewpoints, especially regarding like bullying or harassment online, especially to like LGBT people and other marginalized individuals. So it's really hard to like when that like comes up, and it's like sometimes it can be challenging to just kind of ignore it. But like I feel like ignoring it is the best thing for anyone's mental well-being. Like take care of yourself first and foremost. Like it's a hard life out there. People will like express their opinions, and there's not a lot you can do about it sometimes. But I feel like the best thing that you can do is just continue to be yourself, no matter like what people are saying. But with that said, in your opinion, what are your thoughts on the community, the LGBT community as a whole?
Coming from nowhere to just being like fully immersed in it, the community has been incredibly welcoming. Like I said, I've made connections with people, like real genuine connections, not just like
Yeah.
names on a screen. It's been really wonderful meeting so many different people. Um, I think like the highlight of it is going from like we just chat online to like meeting in real life. Those have been some of like the moments that I've really cherished as a person is like we've gone from just like commenting on each other's things to like hanging out and like doing even like mundane things like going for coffee or going like recently some of the friends that I've made online that we now hang out in person. Like the most mundane thing, we went out grocery shopping together. And I was
Yay!
like, this is a true friendship upgrade where we're doing something that is like regular and ordinary and boring, and yet we're doing it together.
That's incredible. Yeah, it's great to like make connections within like the community and like finding those individuals within the community and like making connections like that. That's like one of the most beautiful things that I can think of when in regards to the LGBT community. So like I forgot to ask you, where you from? You're from Canada, correct?
Yes, je suis canadien,
Great, great.
which means I am Canadian.
Since I live in California, and I don't really go out a lot, I'm inexperienced with like how the LGBT community is in other places, in other states, in other countries. How is the LGBT community? What is it like in your area?
Very open, very welcoming. Um, Recently I had the opportunity to go to a pride night at a baseball game. And I
Oh,
only knew one or two people going in. Um, and so there were like other people who were also there. And like I'm a very introverted person. It
yeah.
kind of like I like to have like one-on-one time with people before I like do a group thing with them so I can feel comfortable. But it was like either I go or I don't go. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to miss this opportunity because it's a chance for me to like get out and be with the community,
Hmm.
especially during a time where we're trying to celebrate.
Yeah.
Um, so I went and like the people that I met, they were so friendly. They were just like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and like giving me hugs. And I'm like, "Okay, I've only just met you, but you are very friendly and I like this. This is great."
That's fantastic. I love hearing about like other pride events like in other places other than just my own cuz like I know like LA Pride is like the biggest pride event in America or whatever. But like
Mm.
I want to hear about like other like pride events like in every state in every country and like I'm learning those new things and it's like really amazing to like hear that stuff and like it's great to hear that like other people are so welcoming and warm in the community in other locations. So let's dial it back to your content creation. I know you just got it started, kind of doing content creation and everything.
Mm.
But how do you yourself define content creation?
I feel like it's such a broad term.
Yeah.
Like for me, a lot of it is just like because it's like it's my journey. So a lot of it is just like it's pictures of me, and just kind of sharing my thoughts in that moment. I've started branching out into other things like I am a Twitch streamer. So I started doing like little like shorts of like me playing. Most of the time the game is Fortnite just because it's something that I can do in a couple of minutes and not
Heck yeah.
leave the stream on a cliffhanger. Um and I got dragged into it by another friend who is also in the community. And so sometimes like we'll team up together and we'll play together. So part of it is like just like posting little clips of that. Um and then like recently um I've been getting into more like singing and like carpool karaoke, like singing in the car. Um I do have a background, like a small background in music. Like I grew up, I learned how to play the guitar. I learned how to play the drums.
Hmm.
And so like in terms of like content creation, I've been slowly starting to bring in some of those old talents that I used to be into and like trying to weave them into what I do. Um so yeah, for me it's just like it's just like I see it, I want to give it a try, I give it a try, and that's kind of been content creation for me. It's like, that looks like fun, let me also give it a try.
No, I think that's like a very sincere like definition and everything, and it makes me want to like play some Fortnite with you too. We gotta collab on some Fortnite together sometime in the future.
Yeah, that would be fun someday.
Heck yeah! I got into it because they put a guest character in it that I really wanted to play as.
When they did the Hatsune Miku thing, I bought the
Oh
skin
my god,
immediately,
yes.
and it's been my skin ever since.
Yeah, I think she's my skin right now too. But dialing it back, why do you in particular pursue content creation?
It's a creative outlet. Like, people have said, like, you're a very creative person, like in my personal life and also within the community, and it's just been a way for me to like let that creativity out. um it's right now it's a hobby. Like, I'm not doing it to make money, I'm not doing it to chase any kind of clout or fame. Like, it's just fun, and because it's fun, that's why I do it. I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and people get to see if they enjoy it, they can stick around. If they don't like it, whatever.
All right, that's really cool. As a gender fluid individual, how is your queerness presented in the content that you create?
Most of the time I'm presenting as femme in my content. There have been a few moments where I've been like, you know what, this would be kind of fun if I could present both sides of myself, like the masculine and the feminine. So there was one photo shoot that I did back in October. It actually kind of started off as a thing that we did at work for Halloween. The people in my department were like, we're all gonna dress up as Waldo. Some of us will be like, there will be originally supposed to be one real Waldo, and the rest of us were supposed to be fake Waldos. But because I cosplay, I'm like, I'm not gonna half-ass this. I am definitely going to like go full on and use my talents as a cosplayer.
Right.
So I showed up like proper Waldo. Like, I have the proper glasses. They are prescription glasses, so I can actually see through them. I had the shirt, I had the hat, I even had like a cane and a messenger bag, jeans, shoes. Like, I had the whole thing going on. And then I showed up to work and people were like, oh my god, you're the real Waldo. So like we did like a Where's Waldo across the entire building. There were some people on the first floor who were fake Waldos, and then there were some people on like on my floor who were like fake Waldos, and then there ended up being 3 of us who were like the real Waldo, who had like the proper outfits on. And then so at the end of the day, like, I went home and I'm like, this would be kind of fun if I could do both Waldo and Wenda, who is Waldo's girlfriend, I guess. So I tweaked the outfit and I turned it into Wenda, and so I took pictures of like both myself as Waldo and myself as Wenda, like the masculine and the feminine, and then I started to like superimpose them on each other so that I could play both characters at the same time. So that's one of the few instances where like it has been like both masculine and feminine. Otherwise, most of the time I'm presenting as feminine.
Well, that's amazing. And I'm glad like you can like find unique aspects into like putting together your two identities, because even I struggle with that sometimes. I think like I'm going full femme at this point. But typically, as content creators who present the way that we do, tend to attract an audience whom they themselves identify as queer or at least an ally of some sort. However, sometimes the content we produce attracts viewers outside the LGBT spectrum. Do you think that your content would appeal to viewers that don't identify as queer or even an ally?
It depends on what it is. Definitely like the main stuff that I put out, probably not as identifiable to someone who's outside of the community and not even within like allyship. In terms of like some of the video game stuff that I do, I think that would probably be the only place where someone who's completely outside of the community might be able to relate. Like, if they're also a gamer, it's probably where they would relate.
I don't necessarily think that's the only aspect in your content. Like, you do a lot of vintage fashion, a lot of like floral stuff and everything. It's very pretty. You have some pretty outfits on there. I think you did like an Infinity Nikki inspired outfit on there too.
Oh, I did.
It was so cute. It was so cute. I loved it. I feel like that kind of content would also appeal to people who aren't necessarily within the spectrum. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Now that you've mentioned it, I have had a few who have started to follow me. I mean, I might have found them first, but then they would all like look at my stuff and then start commenting too. And like they are like they're more from like the beauty community. Like they're more like makeup, skincare kind of accounts.
Hmm.
But I have gotten some like positive comments and positive messages from those people. So yeah, I guess you're right. There's some stuff out there that I guess does appeal, like more of the fashion stuff that I do.
Right, exactly. So, how would you feel having an audience of individuals mostly outside the LGBT community?
I guess it kind of depends on where they're coming from. Like I said, like there are some who are like from the beauty community, and like when I first started exploring this, that was kind of my first set of people that I connected with because I was trying to learn how to do makeup. And so it was on Sephora's forums. That's where I kind of got my start into like connecting with people and expressing like who I am. And all of it was just like I'm trying to learn how to do makeup properly, or well, properly because there aren't really set rules in terms of makeup.
Right.
But I was trying to figure out how to do like makeup that works for me, and they were very welcoming in there, and a lot of like helpful tips, a lot of helpful tricks, and I did learn a thing or two from like interacting with them. So yeah, I guess there is an audience out there that is not within the community and not within allyship, but could still see like what I do in a positive light.
Right. I think like it would be like completely fine to have like people outside the LGBT community to be friends or followers or anything. Like, especially like if the content appeals to them. Like, the stuff that we do isn't necessarily like strictly to and for the LGBT community. It's for like everyone, and I feel like people can like, even like if people like aren't super fans of like the LGBT community or anything, like they can still like empathize with us, I feel like, if they like just give our content a chance, you know?
At the end of the day, like we're people, and I think that is enough for at least a handful of people out there to realize and to connect with. Like we're all human, and just bringing that humanity into it, I feel could help people connect more with what we do.
100% agree with that sentiment. So I've also noticed, speaking of people and bringing people together, I've also noticed that you yourself help to contribute fundraising to charities in your stream. What causes do you raise money for, and why is that important to you?
So when I started my Twitch journey, and I started like streaming, I wasn't sure what the purpose of it was at first. It was started off as like, oh, that seems really cool. Let me give that a try. I used to think Twitch was absolutely stupid. Like, you sit there and you watch other people play video games. Why not just play the game yourself? Like, why do you have to sit there and watch someone else play it? Unless you're trying to like find some kind of cheat or hack or like playthrough guide. Like, what's the point? And then I watched. I'm gonna give a shout out to Jessica XL 2007.
Right.
I watched one of her streams, and that was when I realized like it's not just like sitting there and playing video games. Like it's a chance for you to connect with people on almost a 1.5 way connection. I say 1.5 because like I'm the one speaking as like the streamer, but they can't speak back. It's just typing, and like I can read the chat. So I realized like this is a way to connect with people. Can I use this platform for anything else? And so as I was going through the whole process of like being a new streamer to trying to reach affiliate status, I ran into other streamers and I saw like, oh, you can use this platform to like fundraise. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I think that's what I want to do eventually is try to use it to fundraise in some way, shape, or form for some kind of cause. So I went through the motions. I eventually hit affiliate. And then by that point, I was like, okay, one of the causes I do want to raise money for is for autism. There's someone in my life who is very near and dear to me, very special to me. And they do work with people who have autism. And so I was like, you know what? I would like to help you out in some way. So I did, a fundraising stream like for a month. I streamed, and I would pause every once in a while and be like, okay, here's what I'm streaming for. And I would like see if people would be willing to donate.
Nice.
And I managed to raise well over $100. 100 something anyway. I can't remember the exact amount. And like it was one of the goals I had set for myself. I'm like, I want to be ambitious and see if I can pull this off. One of the goals I set was like, if I can raise more than 100 by the end of the charity run, I'll match it with my own money. And by the time I got to the end of it, I managed to hit like more than $100. So I had to reach into my wallet and pull out another $100, and then I sent it all into the organization. And then I went to go visit them because they are a local organization. And I went to go visit them to see like, okay, like where's the money actually going to? And they had recently just opened a new facility where they work out of now with some of the children who they give therapy to. So I got to see like, okay, this is where that money actually went to, is like to get this place up and running so that they have a nice facility to work out of. People can come in and get the help that they need. So that was one charity event that I did. The other one that I did was with a group called oh god, I'm gonna get this wrong. Rainbow Raid Relay. It's 3 R's. And every once in a while they do like a raid relay where like it's one streamer starts and then they raid into another one, and then that person takes that audience and then raids into another one. So they kind of keep the party going.
Right.
And the organizer every once in a while does a charity version of that. And so when I caught wind of this, they were like, oh, you stream, do you want to join in with us? We're going to try and fundraise money for Palestinian refugees. And I was like, you know what? That is also a worthy cause. I feel like we could do some good to kind of help out with the situation, especially since, it's all over the news and all kinds of things are happening where like they're not getting the care that they need. Civilians are getting stuck behind like areas that are under fire. The civilian buildings are being targeted. And I'm like, you know what? I'm fortunate enough to grow up in a first world country. I have seen what life is like in third world countries, thanks to my parents coming from one and us going back quite a bit. So I was like, you know what? Let's do something here too. And so I helped them out with some fundraising. I was like, yep, sign me up. I'm on board. And managed to raise over $100 there as well.
That's amazing. That's all awesome. That's incredible. Like, just like helping to raise like for those specific causes is like an incredible feat, and that's amazing that you do that. I know that's what I kind of wanted to do too with my channel with Plays Love and everything, and it's amazing seeing like other content creators using their platform to like help other people and not just be like, I don't know, I feel like when I stream I'm like, oh, I'm just here just like talking BS or whatever. But like I enjoy Yeah, but I do enjoy like making content that not only like helps to uplift people, but also like can directly help people like that as well. So it's incredible that you do that. Um, let's like talk about something a little more hard to talk about probably. And I apologize if
Okay.
like you do feel uncomfortable with this question, if it's triggering or whatever to like anyone watching this. I apologize. But as queer individuals presenting as we do online to the world, sometimes we attract the wrong kind of attention. You mentioned this a little bit. The bigotry, the bullying, and other kinds of harassment. It's not uncommon for content creators in general, but it seems that marginalized individuals deal with it the hardest. So, in how you handle this, how do you go about handling the cases of harassment?
I mean, early on, I didn't, like I said, like on YouTube, that's where most of it was.
Mhm.
I didn't realize like you can tweak the comment settings, and so like I just had them open where anyone could comment, and like as a content creator, I'm like, you know what, I want to welcome people and make it as easy as possible for them to engage with the content. So if they can comment and it appears right away, like that should make people's lives easier. So maybe they'll be more likely to comment on things. Um, and I learned very quickly that that was a bit of a mistake. Um, and there, yeah, like I mentioned already, the one of like where I was dressed up as like a cat maid for one of my streams, and then it was like, oh my god, what are you? Um, I After that, I was like, okay, like, can I set this up so that like I can filter through the comments first? And I realized like, yeah, that is a setting that you can do. So that was one of the things that I did right away was like, let me change the settings so that I can go through them first and you know, just like filter through them. And I feel like that helped like my mental health at least.
Mm.
Not seeing those things immediately and like they're out there in the world, like permanently forever etched into the internet. Um, so being able to like kind of screen them first. Um, I feel like that, yeah, has really helped with like for me. I know it's not for everyone. I can see like other people kind of tackled that kind of attention a little bit differently. The other thing too, like I have to remind myself, like I don't know them personally. They don't know me personally.
Mm.
And therefore, like their opinion doesn't really matter. Like the opinions that
Right.
matter the most to me are the ones from people that I actually care about. So if someone else has an opinion of me, but I don't even know who they are, they're hiding behind like the anonymity of the internet,
Mm.
then I have to remind myself like their opinion doesn't matter. Like they are trying to hide behind their like facade of like a blank profile or like a picture of a dog or whatever. Um, but at the end of the day, they don't matter because they are not a part of my personal life.
I appreciate that YouTube has certain tools for creators to like mitigate some of the harassment, but I feel like it's not enough sometimes. Sometimes like even with filters and everything, sometimes things slip through and that's unfortunate,
Yeah.
but that's a problem with the platform. I feel like I think just in general like you do like a fantastic job in mitigating like taking care of your mental health first and like just not giving any light or attention to like individuals who are seeking to harass others online. I feel like those people who do it, they're not just targeting one individual. Like they're not just targeting your video. They're probably hopping to different videos to like make themselves I don't know, feel better or something. Like they're harassing multiple people and they're not even like giving like the content like an actual fair chance. So it's like why even have like people like this like sit rent free in your head, for so to speak, you know? And things like that's like, oh, what the heck are you? I feel like is like the easiest thing to just say. It's like you're saying something but not saying anything at the same time. So like
I agree.
so yeah, those people I just honestly, for me, I feel sorry for them and I hope the best for those individuals because they're probably going through something, some kind of hardship that we don't understand. And that's the way they take it out, unfortunately, which is a bad thing for like you as an individual to do. But at the same time, like me personally, I feel sorry for those individuals because like you have no positive like life that you all want to like direct negativity towards other people. I can follow that mindset, but like I hope those people are in a good place or a better place, but they most likely aren't. So like I don't know.
The hate comes from somewhere, somewhere inside,
Mhm.
and I guess all we really can do is like wish the best for them, so that eventually someday they figure out like where this hate is coming from. There's only so much that we can do on this end.
Right. I think the best thing that we can do is just keep things positive and hope that they find positivity in their life in the future and just leave
Yeah.
it at that.
Yeah.
um but going back to I would like to bring up your Instagram because browsing it, it's clear that you enjoy self-photography. What are your motivations for sharing photos of yourself around the internet?
That started off as like my photo journal of my journey. Like the early pictures, the very, very first ones. Like there's no captions, there's no comments. If there are any likes on there, they happened much later on after I posted them. Um, like I was trying to find a place where I could archive things.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't want to archive it on my phone. Firstly, if this phone ever gets lost and then unlocked or discovered, they're gonna find those pictures of me. Like I was very in the closet, very like nobody can find out about this. And I feel like many of us went through that phase too of like nobody can know, absolutely not. And so I was like, okay, where can I put these where like they can be like they can live online forever and um like if something happens to my phone, at least I can find them again somewhere. So I was like, Instagram seems like a place like it's photos. That's what it is. It's just like you can put a photo online, it will stay there pretty much forever unless you decide to delete the account. So I started just uploading like this is a picture of me on a day that I dressed up. This is what makeup looked like. Um, and it was a photo journal, and it came about as I connected with someone in the beauty community, and they were like, if you're serious about your makeup, you want to get better at it, take pictures. Even if you hate the makeup, it gives you a chance to look at it, figure out like what do you like about it, what don't you like about it, so you can make adjustments for next time.
Really?
And so that's how it started, was just like, okay, I'm going to chronicle this journey of mine. I'm going to take pictures of everything that I do, and I'm going to go from there. Um, and then it started to get kind of lonely doing, like being a gender fluid person and like nobody knows about it. So I slowly started to like follow people, follow one person, follow another person, because it was like, oh, they're kind of like me, and they're also like going through this like journey similar to myself. So I'll follow them, and maybe they can become a source of inspiration. And like I said, it started to get kind of lonely doing that. So then it went from just following people to like commenting, messaging, saying hello. And then they would be like, oh, hi, yeah, I'm, so and so, nice to meet you. And then they would hit follow request. And then the first few, I panicked. I'm like, oh, shoot, do I like accept and let them see these pictures of me, or do I not? Like, what happens next? And so I ended up like accepting those requests, and slowly people were like seeing like myself. Until I started to get like more comfortable with how like for me, like how do I present? Like in terms of like my makeup has improved. I've figured out kind of like what is my style. And so I started allowing people to like friend request and like see my profile. And then it was actually only recently, January, like the beginning of 2025, I went onto my phone and I changed it from a private account to a public account because I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm ready to let more people see this version of me. Plus, I had already started doing like Twitch streaming, and that's like very public. Like anybody can punch in my username, they can see everything that, like all the clips, all the VODs, like they can see it all. So I'm like, what's the point of me hiding my Instagram account when like there's other social media platforms where you can see me and it's not hidden?
Right.
So I finally like set that one to public and like it's out there and people can find it and look at it and it's there.
That's really cool. That's really cool that you like reached out to like people and they were like kind enough to like reach back out to you in return. Like I feel like I'm too much of an introvert sometimes to reach out to people. But like I would love to like do more of that in the future, hopefully.
It's a bit scary to just like go click on a person's profile and then go find the DM button and like type something in and just say like totally cold, I don't know who you are, but you know, I think you're pretty, I think you're cute, I like your content. Hi. That's a bit scary to do.
Yeah, exactly, because of like a lot of people I feel like on Instagram, especially if like you're presenting femme, get the worst kind of DMs sometimes from strangers, so I don't want to come off like that.
Yeah. There's a fine line in trying to find like, yeah, I want to comment, but like if I say that, am I gonna come off like a creep?
100%. Oh my god, my thoughts exactly. But you primarily showcase your interests on your platform, like your fashion, cosplay, video games, etc. What is some of your favorite content to share?
I mean, I don't want to cop out and say all of it. Like right now, I guess right now a lot of it has been like more on my musical side.
Oh.
I've done a few like there's a few that are like it's simple, it's just like lip syncing. There's some where like I'm singing along to a song, and then there's one, and I'm kind of sad it didn't get the reach that I imagined it would. But like it was a full production. Like I got the backing track for the song. I sat here in this exact spot. I pulled up the microphone. I recorded my audio, and then I put the two together. And then I cosplayed as the character. I think that one was like my favorite one that I've done, because it kind of pulled from like all my different interests of like makeup and beauty to like put together the cosplay, like music and singing, because I did the vocals myself, and then like editing it all together. I think that's kind of like my most favorite one that I've done. And it's like I'm proud that I was able to just pull all of my different talents together to make that one reel.
Right, that's awesome. Like I'm sorry, I was browsing your Instagram trying to find that one. Which one in particular was it?
So it was one that was more masculine, where I'm cosplaying as Genu from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Okay, yeah, that's what the one I was looking at. Cool.
It didn't quite get the reach that I thought it would, but like it was a whole production. Like I said, it was like audio, video, makeup. It was 2 days of work to get to that point.
So oftentimes people who post selfies on their socials do so for attention-seeking purposes. And from an outsider's view, this can be seen as a vain notion. What makes your content, in your opinion, that you produce different from this supposed view of vanity?
So, like I said before, like it started off as like my photo journal of like, this is me. I'm looking at this as a way to reflect on like where I came from, where I am now, and like where might I go in the future as I figure out more about myself. And so I'm guilty of being very far behind in terms of posting, but literally every time I present as femme, I take a picture. so that I have something that I can go back to and reflect on if I ever feel like I want to see like where my journey has gone and like where do I want to go next. Like I've documented every single moment. Like even before this interview, I took a quick selfie before I got the camera finally working,
Same.
so that I have it for somewhere down the road. And I think that keeping it as like this is my journey, and it's just people can come along for the ride. Has helped me stay grounded in not letting it run off and become like a total vanity project. Like
Right.
like literally like the good days and the bad days will at some point, once I catch up to, like, I've got a big backlog. But once I catch up to it, like the good days and the bad days are all going to be on there.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, I think you see this as more of like a lookbook, a presentation of your journey, a documentation, rather than just like a simple vanity, like here is me and like I want you all to look at me, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's just like, this is me. If you are here, great. If you don't like what you see, whatever.
All right, so how do your photo sets promote positivity to those who encounter it?
Usually I try to, like in the caption area, I will write down like my thoughts as I'm looking at that picture and I'm about to post it. Like, what kinds of things can I write about? For the ones where like I'm not too happy with how things turned out that day, like I'll write about it and I'll just be like, I'm a little sad about this or sad about that.
Hmm.
I wish I had done this a little bit differently. Um, I I've also tried to turn it around to whoever is like going through my content. Like I'll pose a question somewhere at the bottom and just be like, what do you think about this particular topic, or what do you like? Do you do anything similar to what I'm doing here? Like just trying to pose questions so that like whoever is on the other end and whoever's looking at it can also have a chance to like reflect along with me.
That's really cool. I feel like also on top of that, you know, you have like a nice smile in your photos. Like you being gender fluid can also have a positive impact on other gender fluid people as well. Like who encounter your content. Like for me in particular, people have reached out to me and said that like I inspired them to like step out of the house for the first time, and that's incredible to see, like that like us doing this kind of stuff can like be a positive impact on an individual's lives and really inspire people to like step out of their comfort zone and like just live life and like love who you are and everything, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do remember seeing some of your content early on, and I was like, wow, she's pretty cute. And like
Aww.
she's out and about, just like it's no big deal. And like I said, like I went out on day one, so it was like it was affirming to me to see like other people are also stepping out there and like living their lives outside. So like coming across like even yourself, like it was very affirming. Like, okay, I did the right thing. I wasn't crazy. Like stepping outside was the right move for me. And like seeing other people do it was very affirming. And yeah, it was a positive experience. So thank you for you being you.
You're too kind. You're too kind. But now you can do the same thing too. You are doing the same thing. You are potentially like inspiring others to like come out and like be themselves and love themselves for the way they are as well.
I certainly hope so. A few have told me like, yeah, I did something crazy because I saw you do something crazy. Um, for example, like one of my friends who like we're friends in real life now. They set foot outside for the first time. I was very privileged to be there with them.
Aw.
And so like we were able to go out together. I got them outside for the first time. It wasn't like it was like a big thing for them. And on the same day of getting them outside and like being in like the real world out here, um, also got them to go into a women's bathroom for the first time.
Oh no.
Yeah, because I'm sure as someone who also goes out, like sometimes you get lucky and there's like either a universal washroom or like it's like solo, like individual washrooms for people. But then sometimes you're not so lucky and it's gendered washrooms and that's the only option. And so
Mm.
it's like, do I walk into the male washroom presenting as feminine? Or do I walk into the women's washroom presenting as feminine? Like which one do you go to? Um and so the place that we went to happened to have gendered washrooms. And so
Oh my
like for
god.
me, having gone out a bunch, I'm like, I'm going to go to use the women's washroom because that's how I'm presenting right now. And they followed me in and they were like, "Thank you for helping me get through that." I was freaking out inside my head about like I needed to use the washroom. Which one do I use? Thank you for being there with me. And I'm like, "You're welcome." I'm glad that I could help you through that.
Oh my god, that's definitely like a conflict that people such as us definitely need to deal with. Like I would much rather go to like a gender neutral bathroom than any other bathroom. At this moment, I guess I'm more comfortable going to like the women's restroom when I present femme. But that's aside the point. So let's go back to talking about content creation and presenting in general. How do you, as a queer individual, feel about presenting yourself physically and authentically to your audience?
Because the way it is set up, like it is just like it's my journey of like who I am. Like every moment is as authentic as I can get it to be. Like it's literally like me, I'm going out, or I'm like going to stream, and so like this is what I look like. This is who I am. And I'm not gonna lie when I say like the beauty standards, like I don't care for them. Um, that is one thing that I guess I have struggled with is like I'll see something and I'll be like, wow, that is like really pretty. That person's really pretty, or I wish I could look like that. Um, I mean, physically, there's only so much I can do with makeup and strategic clothing. So what people see is like it's really me. Um, I've like my early pictures, like they were heavily filtered because I was like, yeah, I makeup's not that great, but I want to archive this and I want it to look nice. Um, I started to not filter them as heavily, and now like when I post something,
Hmm.
it's more like I've adjusted it just so that like colors look good. I don't look totally washed out in the sun, or like it's not like a totally dark picture that you can't barely see anything.
Right.
Um, so like I've tried to be a little more light-handed with like the post editing of things that I put online. Um, so yeah, it's as raw and as authentic as I can make it. Like you whatever people see there, like it's really me.
Yeah, that's great. Like I feel like honestly, like putting your like authentic face out there and everything is far better than like heavily filtered images. I don't think I've ever mentioned this in any of my content, but there was one time where like I met a friend for the first time in real life and I didn't even recognize them because I that's when I realized they have they don't even put their real face on the pictures. And I'm just like,
Ah,
oh no. Oh well, I guess that's like good for them and everything, but like honestly, like authenticity is like the best thing that you can possibly do. And speaking of that, you've publicly made apparent that you make safer work content. Do you still like agree with that?
it's most of it is safe for work.
Most of it.
So there is but how would my friend put it?
I can put it for you, honestly. You also offer your supporters premium ways to see a little more, such as private photos or the ability to purchase clothing for you. And something you say that uh, is quoted as pre-loved hosiery, which I found also has a few numbers of them sold. Where
Yep.
is the line that is drawn in the content that you produce, and what you would call not safe for work?
The hard line is like, I am always wearing clothing. Things are covered up. No one will ever see anything that you would. Oh, this is how my friend put it. Nothing that you would not see in like a clothing catalog, or like a hosiery advertisement. So like there are there's some content that exists out there where like I'm wearing lingerie, and it kind of started off as like an extension of exploring my femininity, because I never thought I could look like even remotely decent in like a pair of like lingerie. And like I tried it just to see one day. Like I said before, like try everything once. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, whatever. And to my surprise, I was like, you know what? I look not bad. It's not half bad. At least in my mind. I'm sure other people will say like, no, it's amazing. Like to me, it's like, okay, it's not bad. But that's the line. Like I there's nothing out there that exists of me doing anything nude or lewd. Like I promise you, I'm a wholesome person. And yeah, like that's where I draw the line. I will not do anything that will like expose myself to anyone. Like they could pay for it. I'm not like, you will not get anything of me that is like a bare body. There's always going to be some articles of clothing on. That to me is like the line. And it's like I said, like it's like you would find it in like a clothing catalog or like a clothing advertisement, lingerie advertisement, like hosiery advertisement. That's as spicy as it gets.
Right. I think that's a really good line to draw. Like, you're not gonna see anything else that you won't see like on a surface level Google search without turning off safe mode or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing to like find that line, because as queer content creators, especially for those of us with the internet in the intent to inspire and uplift the community, it's important to reflect on the content that we produce and be conscious of its effects on the perception of the community. As with the dichotomy that we face as queer people in any creative field, is that our identities are constantly perversed by outsiders who either seek to satisfy a personal taboo or attack our community in some way. Do you think that by producing these less than safe for work features in your content, that this propagates in any way the social stigma of certain people within the LGBT community being fetishized or otherwise segregated?
It's hard to know what's going through the mind of the other person, who's on the other end looking at like the stuff that I do, and to figure out like what are they doing with it. Like I've seen a few of the things that I've posted, like just on Instagram. Like we're not even getting into like the stuff that I have on like other social media sites. Just on Instagram, because it does show you like this has been saved this number of times. This has been like sent to other people this number of times. This has been liked this many times. And I have been surprised to see like something as simple as just like me in a nice floral dress. And it's gotten a bunch of saves on it and a bunch of sends to other people. And I'm like, who's saving and who's sending? And like my mind can only wonder so much about it. And like sometimes I'm like, I wonder what kind of unholy collection I have become a part of now. Like this is just like a picture of me in a dress. There's nothing very, very like sexy about it. It's just like I look cute. And yet it's been saved. And so like I can't control what is going on with the other person on the other end, and like what kinds of things they are looking at and how they're interpreting it. Like there's only so much I can do with like what I post, what I caption it with. There's only so much that I can do. There is one post that I have. It's my April Fool's Day post. And I literally went on the internet and I found like the way that Instagram censors their pictures, and it's like, click here to see this picture if it's something that Instagram feels is worthy of being like filtered out first. So I grabbed a screenshot of that and I posted it on April Fool's, and I put a bunch of tags like lingerie, gender fluid, trans, hosiery, like it was meant to just be like this silly thing. And to this day, I am still getting likes on it. And I think what people are doing is, like, I've looked at the stats, and it's mostly coming from people who are searching and not from people who are like finding it on like their feed or their reels, or like because they've clicked on my profile and they've scrolled down to like look at all of my stuff. Most of it is from searches. So I'm guessing there are people out there who are searching for whatever I've tagged it with. And then they're trying to see the picture, and they're trying to like click here to see. And then they press it. It doesn't work because it's not really a picture. Press it again. And then it triggers a like out of Instagram because like you double tap. So they've tapped once, nothing worked. They tapped again. It triggered a like double tap. So like that one is like an interesting one to me, to see those stats. And like people are going to look up what people are going to look up. And as much as I would love to say like, no, I'm not trying to like fetishize myself. Like people kind of seem to do that on their own, no matter what content I put. So like I said, like stuff's been saved. I'm like, why is it being saved? It's just like a cute picture. To like that one April Fool's Day photo that has some very interesting stats.
I said it before and I'll say it again, and I'll say it many times. Lewdness is in the mind of the lecherous. No matter who you are or what you do or what you put out there online, someone is going to save it and put it in a folder somewhere. People are going to be people. We as queer individuals are sometimes fetishized for just being who we are, and I don't feel the most comfortable of that. I don't think a lot of people are comfortable with that, but like we learn to live with it as content creators. We look to see the positive, the good in what we're doing, instead of some of the gremlins out there in the woodworks.
I choose not to think about it. Like if they want to treat my content that way, fine. Just don't tell me.
Just keep it to yourself, dude. Keep things behind closed doors. Exactly.
Yeah. If you're gonna remain behind your anonymous account, like let's keep it that way.
So with that being said, do you have any advice for people like us who are pursuing content creation?
Do what you love, I guess, would be the biggest piece of advice. Like I do this because I enjoy it. Like I have a lot of fun, like pulling all of my different talents into this. So for anyone that wants to get into content creation, like find that thing that brings you joy and start there. Any other start point, I feel like it would become a chore or a job. And like that's another thing that I said to myself when I started streaming was like, I'm going to quit the day that this feels like a job and not something that I enjoy doing. And like there have been a few times where I've been like, you know what, maybe I should let go of the streaming, because it's just like some days I say I'm gonna stream and I just don't want to stream. And so like that's part of the reason why, like for anyone that knows about my Twitch, like it is very, very sporadic. Some days I will stream, some days I won't. There's no set schedule, simply because like I want to be in the mind frame where like I'm doing it because I enjoy it, not because I have to do it. So for anyone that wants to get into content creation, find the thing that you enjoy and start there and then see where it takes you.
Right, that's awesome. All right, well, that about wraps up my questions. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Remind everyone where they can find you.
So you can find me on pretty much every social media platform. JaeSometimes, JaeSometimes. I can totally spell. Yeah, I am on most major social media platforms. Obviously Instagram, because we've talked about it, Twitch, a little bit of Reddit, a little bit of Blue Sky. Is that it? Oh, Discord. You can also find me on Discord. There you go.
Thank you so much again. Please go check them out in the link in the description. Show them all the love and support. This has been cutiespectives. I'm Jasmine Page, and I'll see you all with another very special guest next month. Until then, take care of yourself and have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to share your perspectives down in the comments below and let me know who you'd like to see in a future video. See you next time!